They will question you, they will doubt you, they will even try to trap you with their words. And most people, they fall into that trap. They start defending themselves, they start explaining, and in that moment, they lose all their power. But Bruce Lee lived by a different rule. He knew that defending yourself makes you weaker. He knew that explaining yourself gives away your strength, because true power does not need to speak. This is Bruce Lee's secret, and if you understand it, you will become untouchable. 1. Defending is defeat. When someone attacks you with words, the natural instinct is to fight back. You defend, you explain, you try to prove that you are right. But the moment you do this, you step into their arena. You fight on their terms, and when you fight on their terms, you have already lost. Think of a man walking through the marketplace. A stranger shouts at him, insults him, calls him weak. If the man turns around, raises his voice, tries to defend himself, what happens? He is trapped. Now the crowd gathers. Now he is arguing with a fool. Now his energy, his focus, his dignity, all wasted in a battle that never needed to happen. But imagine instead the man hears the insult and keeps walking. No reaction, no defense, no explanation. Who looks stronger? Who keeps his dignity? The silent man does. His power is not reduced. His focus is not stolen. He is untouchable. Defending yourself is defeat because it makes you a prisoner of other people's opinions. The more you defend, the more you accept that their judgment matters. The more you explain, the more you admit you need their approval. And the truth is, you don't. A tiger does not defend itself when a dog barks. The tiger walks. Its presence is enough. Its silence is enough. Its strength is not in arguing, but in being. Do you think the tiger wastes energy proving it is a tiger? Never. It simply is. When you live in a state of defending, you give away your center. You allow others to control how you feel. They push you and you react. They question you and you explain. They insult you and you argue. Every time you do this, you become their puppet. They pull the string and you dance. But Bruce Lee's way is different. He said, "The stiffest tree is most easily cracked, while the bamboo survives by bending with the wind." The one who is strong in himself does not need to prove it. The one who is at peace with himself does not waste energy defending. He bends, he flows, but he never breaks. Defending is defeat because it shifts your focus outward. It makes your life about others. What do they think? What do they say? How do they see me? But real strength is inward. Real power is knowing who you are so clearly that no opinion can shake you. When you stand in silence, when you refuse to defend, you create a mystery around yourself. People expect you to fight back, to argue, to explain. But when you don't, they become confused. They begin to question themselves. Your silence reflects their weakness back to them. And in that silence, you win without fighting. The man who constantly defends himself is like a candle in the wind. Every breeze shakes his flame. But the man who refuses to defend is like the mountain. The wind blows, the storm rages, but the mountain remains unmoved. You must understand, not every question deserves an answer. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every attack deserves a defense. Most people argue not to find truth, but to drain your energy. They do not care about understanding you. They care about pulling you into their storm. And if you step inside, you lose. When you learn to walk away, when you learn to stay silent, you rise above. You show that you cannot be touched by noise. You are not shaken by opinions. You do not bend to the weakness of others. Defending is defeat because it means you are still chained to the world's approval. Freedom is found in detachment. When you are no longer bothered by the need to explain, you are free. When you stop defending, you live as yourself, not as a reflection of other people's judgments. Look around you. How many people spend their entire lives defending? They defend their choices, their failures, their dreams. They argue on social media. They justify themselves to friends, to strangers, even to enemies. They waste years trying to prove their worth. But worth is not proven by words. Worth is proven by being. If you are strong, they will feel it. If you are disciplined, they will see it. If you are powerful, it will radiate. You do not need to defend it. You do not need to explain it. You simply need to live it. Bruce Lee understood this deeply. He trained not to show off, not to argue, but to embody strength. He lived his philosophy. He became his teaching. That is why he said, showing off is the fool's idea of glory. And in the same way, defending is the fool's idea of strength. True glory, true strength needs no defense. So the next time someone doubts you, insults you, or demands an explanation, pause. Do not give them your energy. Do not fight on their terms. Smile if you must. Stay silent. Walk away. That silence will speak louder than any defense. That calmness will cut deeper than any explanation. Defending is defeat. Silence is victory. To master yourself is to be untouchable. And once you stop defending, you will know a power greater than words, the power of unshakable strength. 2. Explaining weakens you. Why do we explain ourselves? Because we want to be understood. We want others to see us, to accept us, to approve of us. But the more you explain, the weaker you become. Because explanation is not strength, it is begging for validation. Think about it. A man says, I live this way because I chose this, because I believe this, because, and he talks, and he talks, and he talks. But the more he talks, the more he exposes himself. The more he explains, the more others see through him. And the ones who listen are not satisfied. They will always find another question, another doubt, another hole in his words. But imagine another man. He is silent. He lives his life. He does not explain. He does not justify. People wonder about him. They question him, but he never bends to answer. Who appears stronger? Who is respected more? The silent one. Explaining weakens you because it says to the world, your opinion matters more than my truth. When you explain, you place yourself beneath the listener. You say, please understand me. Please accept me. That is weakness. That is handing over your power. You must understand. People who truly see you do not need explanations. They feel your strength. They see your actions. They know who you are without you saying a word. And people who do not want to see you will never be satisfied by any explanation. You could explain for hours, for days, for years, and they will still find fault. Why? Because their doubt is not about you. It is about them. So why waste your energy? Why bleed your soul dry trying to convince someone who has already decided not to see you? Silence is stronger. Walking away is wiser. Bruce Lee once said, if you spend too much time thinking about a thing, you'll never get it done. In the same way, if you spend too much time explaining, you will never live. You will become trapped in a prison of words. You will live in the shadow of other people's approval. The strong man does not explain his strength. The wise man does not explain his wisdom. The disciplined man does not explain his discipline. They live it, they embody it, and that is enough. Think of water. Water does not explain why it flows downhill. It simply flows. And in its silence, it carves mountains. Think of fire. Fire does not explain why it burns. It simply burns. And in its silence, it destroys everything in its path. Your strength, too, must be like this. Silent, natural, unapologetic. Explaining weakens you because it drains your focus. Instead of building your life, you are busy defending it. Instead of living your path, you are busy narrating it to others. And in the end, you achieve nothing because explanation does not build muscle. Explanation does not sharpen the mind. Explanation does not move you forward. Only action does. There will always be people who misunderstand you. There will always be critics, doubters, haters. Let them be. Their words cannot touch you unless you hand them your power. And you hand them your power the moment you begin to explain. The one who does not explain becomes a mystery. The one who does not justify becomes respected. Because people begin to wonder, why is he so silent? Why does he not argue? Why does he not care about our judgment? And that mystery creates power. That silence creates fear. That refusal to explain creates respect. The truth is this: you owe no explanation for your dreams. You owe no explanation for your discipline. You owe no explanation for your lifestyle, your goals, your focus. If it is right for you, it is right. If it is true to your path, it is true. Stop explaining. Start living. Stop talking. Start acting. Stop asking for understanding. Start embodying strength. The world does not respect words. The world respects results. Remember, explaining weakens you. Living strengthens you. The more you explain, the more they doubt. The more you live, the more they believe. So choose. Will you spend your life talking, or will you spend your life becoming? Because at the end, words are forgotten. But the life you lived, that will be remembered. 3. Truth needs no defense. When something is true, it does not need to fight. It does not need to explain. It does not need to defend itself. Truth stands by itself, like a mountain, like the ocean, like the sky. Look at the sun. Does the sun defend why it shines? Number, it simply rises and the whole world feels its light. Look at water. Does water defend why it flows downhill? Number, it simply flows and nothing can stop it. Look at fire. Does fire explain why it burns? Number, it burns and everyone understands its power. In the same way, when you live in truth, you need no defense. You need no explanation. Truth is self-evident. It reveals itself through your actions, through your presence, through your being. The problem is this: most people do not trust their truth. They doubt themselves. They fear judgment. And because of this fear, they defend, they explain. They try to prove themselves to others. But the more they explain, the more they weaken their truth. If you say, I am strong, I am disciplined, I am focused, but you must explain it. Are you truly strong? Are you truly disciplined? Are you truly focused? Number, because truth needs no words. Truth speaks through action. Bruce Lee once said, knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do in the same way. Saying is not enough. Explaining is not enough. You must live it. You must do it. You must embody it. That is truth. Truth is silent, but it is powerful. When you walk into a room with discipline, people feel it. When you live with focus, people notice it. When you carry yourself with strength, people sense it. You do not need to announce it. You do not need to defend it. It radiates. But the moment you begin defending yourself, you plant a seed of doubt. You show others that you are not fully sure of your truth, because only the uncertain defend. Only the insecure explain. The strong, the certain, the true, they simply live. Think of a fighter in the ring. He does not explain his punches. He does not defend why he moves the way he moves. He simply moves. He simply strikes. The truth of his training is revealed in action. His body speaks louder than words ever could. The same is true in life. Do not tell people you are disciplined. Wake up early, train, focus, and they will see. Do not tell people you are strong. Endure hardship, stay calm under pressure, and they will know. Do not tell people you are free. Live without chains, without fear, and they will understand. Truth is not explained. Truth is lived. Truth is not defended. Truth is revealed. Defending your truth is like putting armor on a diamond. The diamond does not need armor. Its brilliance is its defense. The more you cover it, the less it shines. The more you explain it, the less people see its real light. If you are misunderstood, let it be. If you are doubted, let it be. If you are attacked, let it be. Truth does not bend to noise. Truth does not weaken because of opinion. It stands, it endures, it remains. The weak are obsessed with being understood. The strong are obsessed with living their truth. And because they live it, eventually, even the doubters are forced to see it. Remember, the truth of a tree is in its fruit. The truth of a man is in his actions. The truth of your path is in your results. Defend nothing, explain nothing, live and let the results speak. When Bruce Lee trained, he did not defend his philosophy with endless words. He showed it, he lived it, he embodied it. That is why people respected him, not because of what he said, but because of what he became. So ask yourself, are you wasting energy explaining your truth, or are you living it? Because only one will make you strong. Only one will make you untouchable. Truth needs no defense. Truth is defense. Stand in it, live in it, become it, and no force in this world will ever shake you. 4. Respect yourself first. Respect is not something you beg for. It is not something you chase. It is not something you demand. Respect is something you embody. It begins with you. Most people make the mistake of living for other people's respect. They adjust their lives, their dreams, their words, their actions, all to please the crowd. They want to be liked. They want to be accepted. They want to be understood. But here is the truth. If you do not respect yourself, no amount of applause, no amount of praise, no amount of approval will ever be enough. Respect begins inside. It begins when you decide, I will not lower myself for anyone. I will not betray my path to please others. I will not weaken my truth to fit into their world. When you live like this, people can feel it. They sense the strength in you. They sense the confidence in you. And whether they admit it or not, they respect you. But when you do not respect yourself, you live as a slave to opinions, a slave to approval, a slave to every little voice outside of you. They pull you left. You go left. They pull you right, you go right. And in the end, you are no one. You are only a reflection of everyone else. Bruce Lee once said, I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations, and you're not in this world to live up to mine. This is self-respect, to live your life without apologizing, to walk your path without bending, to move forward without needing anyone's permission. When you respect yourself first, something changes. You stop explaining, you stop defending, you stop begging to be seen, because you know who you are, you know your worth, you know your power, and when you know it, you don't need to prove it. Respect yourself first by honoring your word. If you promise yourself discipline, follow it. If you say you will train, then train. If you say you will rise early, then rise. When you keep your own word, you build trust with yourself. And this trust is the root of self-respect. How can you expect others to respect you if you lie to yourself? How can you demand honor if you dishonor your own promises? The man who respects himself does not break his word, not to others and not to himself. Respect yourself first by protecting your energy. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves your time, your attention, your focus. If you give yourself away to everyone, you will be drained, and in that weakness, you will be disrespected. But when you protect your space, when you set boundaries, when you walk away from disrespect, you show the world how to treat you. Remember this, people learn how to treat you by watching how you treat yourself. If you respect yourself, they will follow. If you disrespect yourself, they will follow that too. Respect yourself first by refusing to chase approval. Approval is a drug. The more you chase it, the weaker you become. You start dressing, speaking, living for others. But when you stop chasing, when you live by your truth, the world cannot ignore you. Even those who dislike you will respect you because you cannot be controlled. Respect yourself first by accepting your flaws. No man is perfect. No warrior is flawless. But when you own your imperfections, they lose their power over you. No one can shame you for what you accept. No one can insult you for what you already embrace. Respect is not about being perfect. It is about being real. Respect yourself first by being silent when needed. When you stop arguing, when you stop justifying, when you stop defending, you show that you do not need to be understood. That is respect. That is strength. Respect yourself first by standing alone. Sometimes the crowd will not walk with you. Sometimes friends will leave. Sometimes family will not understand. But if you stand alone with respect, you are stronger than 1,000 men who bow for approval. The one who respects himself walks into a room differently. His shoulders are straight. His eyes are calm. He does not need to shout. He does not need to explain. His presence commands attention because because respect radiates without words. Bruce Lee lived this. He respected himself first. That is why he was unshakable. He trained when no one was watching. He walked his path when others doubted him. He stayed true to his philosophy even when the world criticized him. And because he respected himself, the world had no choice but to respect him. You must become the same. Train yourself to be disciplined when no one sees. Hold your word when no one hears. Protect your energy when no one claps. This is how you build self-respect. And when you have it, you will not need to demand respect from others. It will come naturally. So ask yourself, do you respect yourself? Do you live by your word? Do you protect your mind, your energy, your path? Or do you betray yourself for the sake of others? Because here is the truth. Until you respect yourself, you will always be chasing approval, chasing validation, chasing love. But when you respect yourself, you stop chasing, you attract, you draw respect, love, admiration, not because you beg, but because you are whole. Respect yourself first. Walk your path with dignity. Train your mind with discipline. Honor your word with action. Protect your soul with boundaries. And soon you will see the world bows to the man who first bows to himself. 5. Silence is power. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is power. Most people believe that to win, you must speak, to argue, to shout, to prove yourself with words. But this is the way of the insecure. The weak man is loud. The weak man talks endlessly, trying to be heard, trying to be respected. But the strong man, he does not need to speak. His silence says everything. Silence is misunderstood. People think silence means you have nothing to say. They think silence means you are afraid. They think silence means they have won. But those who live by silence know the truth. Silence is a weapon. Silence is a shield. Silence is the mark of mastery. Bruce Lee once said, "The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus, and silence is focus." When you are silent, you are not wasting energy on noise. You are channeling it. You are directing it. You are mastering yourself. Think of a swordsman. Before he strikes, he is silent, still, focused. His silence is not weakness, it is preparation. And when he strikes, it is deadly. The same is true in life. Your silence is the preparation. Your action is the strike. Silence is power because it cannot be used against you. Words can be twisted, explanations can be broken, arguments can be lost, but silence cannot be defeated. No one can argue with your silence. No one can twist your silence. No one can win against your silence. When you stay silent in the face of insult, you rise above. When you stay silent in the storm of anger, you remain untouchable. When you stay silent while others waste themselves in endless noise, you conserve your strength. And in the end, the silent man wins because he has wasted nothing. The strong do not reveal everything. They hold back. They remain quiet. They keep their power within. A lion does not roar all day. It stays silent, patient, still, until the moment it must act. And when it does, the jungle trembles. Silence makes its roar even more powerful. The weak man tells you everything. He argues, he explains, he justifies, he shouts. He reveals his fears, his doubts, his insecurities, and the more he speaks, the more powerless he becomes. Because words, once spoken, can be used against you, but silence keeps your power locked inside. Silence is also discipline. It is the refusal to react. Anyone can explode. Anyone can shout. Anyone can throw words into the air. That is easy, but to remain calm, to remain still, to remain silent, that is strength. That is control. Look at water. When it is calm, it reflects the entire sky. It becomes a mirror, but when it is disturbed, it loses its clarity. Your mind is the same. In silence, you reflect truth. In silence, you see clearly. In silence, you are powerful. Bruce Lee said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless like water. To empty your mind is to silence it. To be formless is to be free of noise. To be like water is to flow silently, yet powerfully. Silence is not just the absence of sound. It is the presence of awareness. When you are silent, you listen, you see, you notice what others miss. The noisy man is blind, distracted by his own voice, but the silent man sees everything. He becomes dangerous because he knows what others do not. Silence is power because it creates mystery. When you do not speak, people wonder. They cannot read you, they cannot predict you, they cannot control you, and the unknown is always feared. People respect what they cannot understand, and silence makes you ungraspable. The greatest masters in history understood this. Warriors, philosophers, leaders, they all used silence. They spoke less, but when they spoke, every word carried weight. Why? Because silence made their words rare. Silence gave their words value. The man who speaks little is listened to. The man who speaks too much is ignored. Respect is born in silence. Power is maintained in silence. Transformation happens in silence. Look at nature. Seeds grow in silence. The night turns into morning in silence. A body grows stronger in the silence of rest. A mind grows sharper in the silence of focus. Silence is where all growth begins. But silence is also strength in conflict. When someone insults you, silence destroys them because they want a reaction. They want your anger, your defense, your explanation. But when you give them silence, you give them nothing. And that nothing is heavier than any word. They are left fighting with themselves. Your silence forces them to hear their own weakness echo back at them. The powerful do not waste time on small battles. They do not argue about petty things. They do not shout to prove themselves. They remain silent because they are focused on greater wars, the wars inside, the war of discipline, of growth, of self-mastery. That is where silence gives its true strength. Ask yourself, how much energy have you wasted in words? How much of your life has been lost defending, explaining, arguing? Imagine if all that energy had been saved in silence, directed into building yourself, mastering yourself, transforming yourself. Who would you be today? Silence is power because it saves your life force. It keeps your energy within you instead of throwing it away in battles that do not matter. It keeps your mind sharp instead of clouded by endless noise. It keeps your spirit strong instead of drained by the need to be understood. So learn the art of silence. Practice it daily. Do not answer every insult. Do not react to every provocation. Do not explain every choice. Stay silent. Build yourself. Let your silence grow your power until it cannot be ignored. One day, when you speak, the world will stop to listen, not because your words are loud, but because your silence has made them rare. Silence is power, and the man who masters silence masters himself, and the man who masters himself masters everything. 6. Strength speaks without words. True strength does not announce itself. True strength does not shout. True strength does not need to be explained. It is silent, it is steady, it is undeniable. A lion does not need to explain that it is the king of the jungle. A lion does not walk around announcing its power, handing out speeches about why it is strong. The lion simply is. When it walks, the ground feels it. When it looks, the jungle trembles. Its presence is enough. Your strength must be the same, not something you talk about, not something you defend, not something you explain. It must live in you. It must radiate from you, so that when you enter a room, people feel it without you saying a word. The weak man talks. The weak man explains. The weak man tries to convince others of his strength. But every word he speaks takes away from it. Because if you must tell people you are strong, you are not. If you must argue for your worth, you have already lost it. Bruce Lee said, "Knowing is not enough. We must apply." Willing is not enough. We must do in the same way. Speaking is not enough. Words are empty. Only action gives them meaning. Only presence gives them weight. Think of the martial artist. The true master does not talk about his skill. He does not argue about his training. He does not explain his ability. He shows it when the time comes. Until then, he is silent, calm, humble. His silence is his power. His stillness is his confidence. His strength speaks without words. When you are truly strong, people will feel it. They will sense it in your eyes. They will hear it in your tone. They will see it in your discipline. They will notice it in the way you move, the way you stand, the way you live. You will not need to declare it. You will not need to explain it. You will not need to defend it. It will be obvious. Strength speaks without words because strength is beyond words. Words are too small to contain it. Words are too fragile to carry it. Words can be doubted, twisted, forgotten, but true strength is undeniable. It cannot be argued with because it cannot be denied. Look at the mountain. It does not speak. It does not explain why it stands tall. It simply stands, and all who see it know its power. Look at the ocean. It does not shout about its depth. It does not announce its strength. It simply is, and all who approach it feel its vastness. Look at the storm. It does not explain why it rages. It simply rages, and all who face it are humbled. Your strength must be like this, silent, natural, undeniable. Most people waste their strength in words. They argue about who they are. They explain why they do what they do. They defend every action, every choice, every dream. And in doing so, they leak their power. They drain their energy. They give away the very strength they are trying to prove. But when you remain silent, when you refuse to argue, when you refuse to explain, you hold your power. You keep it inside. And in that silence, people feel it. They wonder about you. They cannot read you. They cannot control you. And that mystery is strength. That mystery is fear. That mystery is respect. Strength speaks without words because words cannot carry truth. Only actions can. You can say you are disciplined, but if you sleep in, if you are lazy, your words are empty. You can say you are strong, but if you break under pressure, your words are lies. You can say you are fearless, but if you run from the challenge, your words are nothing. Actions are the only true language of strength. When you rise early, that speaks. When you train hard, that speaks. When you endure hardship, that speaks. When you remain calm under insult, that speaks. When you walk away from disrespect, that speaks. Every silent act becomes a declaration louder than words could ever be. Strength speaks without words because silence makes people listen. When you speak less, people pay attention when you do. When you speak often, your words are ignored. Silence gives your words weight. Silence gives your presence meaning. Silence gives your strength its voice. Bruce Lee understood this. He did not need to convince the world of his mastery. He became it. He lived it. And because he lived it, the world could not ignore him. He was not a man of endless talk. He was a man of action. His presence spoke. His discipline spoke. His mastery spoke. And that is why he became legendary. Your goal is not to be loud. Your goal is not to be understood. Your goal is not to convince. Your goal is to become so strong, so disciplined, so focused, so unshakable, that you need no words. Your life will speak for you. Your results will speak for you. Your silence will speak for you. So let others waste their breath arguing. Let others shout, explain, and defend. You remain silent. You remain focused. You remain strong. And in that silence, your strength will roar louder than any words ever could. Remember this truth. Strength that must be spoken is weak. Strength that must be explained is false. But strength that is lived, strength that is embodied, strength that is silent, that strength is eternal. So train yourself until your silence speaks. Discipline yourself until your presence commands respect. Master yourself until you no longer need to say a word. And when you do, you will discover the secret Bruce Lee lived by. True strength speaks without words. Strength speaks without words because real power is invisible until it is required. The river does not announce its strength until the flood comes. The warrior does not reveal his training until the battle begins. The mind does not show its discipline until temptation appears. In silence, strength prepares. In silence, strength grows. In silence, strength becomes unstoppable. Most people confuse loudness with strength. They think that shouting proves dominance, that arguing shows control, that explaining brings respect. But loudness is only noise. Noise fades. Noise is forgotten. True strength is quiet. True strength lasts. Think of the bamboo. It grows in silence, unseen, underground, preparing its roots. For years it shows nothing. People may even laugh at it, thinking it has no power. But when the time is right, it shoots upward faster than any other plant. What looked weak, what looked silent, was building unstoppable force. This is how your strength must be. Silent, patient, hidden until the right moment when it cannot be denied. When you rely on words to show strength, you give others the chance to tear those words apart. But when you rely on action, when you rely on presence, there is nothing to attack. What can they say against the man who simply is, against the mountain, against the ocean, against the silence that holds itself with unshakable confidence? Strength is not about being noticed. It is about being undeniable. And the most undeniable force is the one that speaks without a sound. Have you ever seen a master walk into a room? He does not need to shout. He does not need to announce his title, his skills, his history. People feel him. His silence is heavy. His presence is clear. His energy fills the space without a word. That is strength, not explained, not defended, not spoken, but embodied. And when you cultivate this kind of strength, people will treat you differently. They will respect you without knowing why. They will sense something unshakable in you. They will watch you carefully, but they will not dare to test you. This is the power of the silent warrior. But silence does not come easily. It requires discipline. It requires mastery over the ego, because the ego wants to argue. The ego wants to be understood. The ego wants to be right. But the stronger your ego, the weaker your silence. And the weaker your silence, the weaker your strength. Bruce Lee understood this deeply. He said, "Showing off is the fool's idea of glory. When you show off, you are loud, you are desperate, you are seeking, and when you are seeking, you are weak. But when you remain silent, you are whole. You need nothing, you are complete. That completeness is strength. So train yourself to remain silent where you would normally speak. When someone insults you, stay silent. When someone doubts you, stay silent. When someone challenges you with words, stay silent. This silence is not surrender. This silence is power, because in that silence, you refuse to give them control. You refuse to let them shape your energy. You stand as you are, untouchable. Over time, silence will sharpen you. You will begin to hear more, to see more, to understand more. When you are not trapped in endless noise, you begin to notice the small things. You notice people's intentions. You notice the hidden truths in situations. You notice yourself more clearly. Silence becomes your teacher, your ally, your weapon. And the greatest thing about silence is this: it cannot be faked. Anyone can shout, anyone can make noise. But silence requires depth. Silence requires certainty. Silence requires strength. Only the strong can stay calm when provoked. Only the strong can remain silent when insulted. Only the strong can resist the temptation to defend or explain. Silence reveals the master. So make silence your practice. Train it like you train your body. Wake up and give yourself moments of stillness. Speak less during the day. Observe more. Listen more. Let your silence sharpen your awareness. Let it make your actions stronger. And soon you will discover what few ever understand. Silence speaks louder than words ever could. The world is full of noise, people shouting, arguing, explaining, defending. But in all that noise, the one who is silent becomes the most powerful voice, because silence cuts through noise like a sword. Silence makes people listen. Silence makes people respect. Silence makes people fear. Strength speaks without words. Your presence, your discipline, your self-mastery, that is your voice. Let your results speak. Let your actions speak. Let your silence speak. And when you live this way, you will never need to shout, argue, or explain again. You will simply be, and being will be enough. 7. Live free, live strong. Freedom is the highest strength. Strength without freedom is a cage. Freedom without strength is weakness. To live free and live strong, this is the true path. Most men are not free. They believe they are, but they are chained. Chained to opinions, chained to fear, chained to the past, chained to the approval of others. They wake up not for themselves, but for the world. They move not by their own will, but by the pressure of society. They live as slaves in invisible prisons. But Bruce Lee said, the key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering. And a life worth remembering is not a life of slavery. It is not a life of fear. It is a life of freedom. It is a life of strength. To live free, you must first break the chains of approval. You do not need to be liked by everyone. You do not need to be understood. You do not need to be accepted, because every moment you live for someone else's opinion, you betray yourself. Every time you choose their comfort over your truth, you lose your freedom. To live strong, you must train your mind and body to endure. Freedom without strength is fragile. A bird with broken wings cannot fly. A man without discipline cannot hold freedom. If you are weak, your so-called freedom will collapse the moment hardship arrives. But if you are strong, your freedom will endure any storm. Living free and strong means becoming your own master. Most men are mastered by the world. Temptation controls them, anger controls them, fear controls them, distraction controls them. But when you are your own master, nothing controls you. You move by your own will. You are directed by your own vision. You are guided by your own truth. That is freedom. That is strength. To live free, you must walk alone at times. The crowd cannot always follow you. Friends may leave. Family may not understand. Society may call you strange. But if you respect yourself, if you remain true to your path, you will walk free. And in walking free, you will find your strength. Freedom means silence, the freedom to not explain, the freedom to not defend, the freedom to not react. When you are free, you do not need to convince, you do not need to prove, you do not need to beg, you simply are. And in that state of being, there is ultimate power. Strength means resilience. It means standing tall when life tries to break you. It means bending like bamboo in the storm, but never snapping. It means enduring loss, pain, hardship, and still walking forward. Freedom without this resilience is an illusion, but freedom built on strength is unshakable. Bruce Lee said, absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own. That is freedom, to learn, to grow, but never to be trapped by tradition, expectation, or fear. To take the world into yourself, shape it, and make it your own. That is strength, that is freedom. To live free and strong, you must practice detachment. Detachment does not mean you do not care. It means you do not cling, you do not beg, you do not chain yourself to things, people, or outcomes. You live with presence. You live with action. You live with flow. And because you cling to nothing, nothing can control you. That is the root of freedom. Most men are prisoners of their own minds. They are locked in cycles of overthinking, doubt, and fear. But when you master your mind, when you free it from noise, when you train it to stay calm, you live free. And when your mind is free, your body becomes strong, your spirit becomes strong, your life becomes strong. To live free and strong is to embody silence and action together. Silence gives you clarity. Action gives you power. Silence keeps you calm. Action moves you forward. Together they make you unstoppable. Imagine walking into every situation with this freedom and strength. No one can control you. No insult can touch you. No setback can break you. You do not explain. You do not defend. You do not fear. You simply live. Silent, disciplined, unshakable. That is true power. The world will try to bind you. It will try to tempt you with distractions, to chain you with fear, to trap you with opinions. But remember, chains only work if you accept them. A prison only holds you if you refuse to walk out. The key has always been in your hand. The strength has always been within you. Living free and strong does not mean life will be easy. It means you will not be broken. It means you will carry yourself with dignity in chaos. It means you will rise above when others fall. It means you will keep walking when others give up. This is the secret Bruce Lee lived. He was not free because the world gave him freedom. He was free because he refused to be chained. He was not strong because the world made it easy. He was strong because he trained his mind, his body, his spirit until nothing could control him. He lived free, he lived strong, and that is why his name endures. So I ask you, Will you live in chains, or will you live free? Will you chase approval, or will you respect yourself? Will you explain your worth, or will you embody it? Will you break when life tests you, or will you stand unshakable? The choice is yours. Every day you decide, with every action, with every silence, with every step, you are either building your prison or building your freedom. Live free, live strong, respect yourself, train yourself, master yourself, and you will know what very few ever know, the power of an unchained life. And when you master this, you will never need to defend, you will never need to explain, you will never need to seek, because you will be complete, you will be unshakable, you will be free. That is Bruce Lee's final lesson, and if you live it, your life will never be the same. Freedom is not given to you. It is not granted by society, by governments, by other people. Freedom is claimed. Freedom is lived. Freedom is the fire you build inside yourself, and that fire cannot be taken away unless you give it up. Chains can bind the body, but they cannot bind the spirit. Doors can lock you in, but they cannot lock your will. The true prison is in the mind. If you are free inside, you are free everywhere. If you are chained inside, you are chained everywhere. Many people misunderstand freedom. They think it means doing whatever they want. They think freedom means chaos, no rules, no discipline. But chaos is not freedom. Chaos is slavery to impulse. A man who does whatever he feels is not free. He is controlled by craving, by anger, by fear. He is a puppet to every desire. True freedom requires strength. Strength to master yourself. Strength to say no when weakness tempts you. Strength to stay calm when the world pushes you. Strength to hold your path when others laugh at you. That is freedom. Not running wild, but walking firmly with discipline on your own path. Bruce Lee once said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." That is freedom and strength combined. To be so disciplined, so focused, so free from distraction that your one action becomes unbreakable. Living free and strong means you live with clarity. You are no longer lost in the fog of opinions. You are no longer pulled in 100 directions by the world. You know who you are. You know where you are going, and no voice can pull you off that path. Ask yourself, what chains still hold you? Is it the need to be liked, the fear of failure, the habit of seeking approval, the comfort of laziness? Whatever it is, face it, break it, because until you do, you will not be free. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not wait for the perfect time. The world will never hand you freedom. You must take it now. In the small choices, in the daily discipline, in the refusal to defend, the refusal to explain, the refusal to betray yourself. Every choice you make is either a chain or a key. Choose the key. To live free and strong is to live with courage. Courage to be different. Courage to be misunderstood. Courage to be alone when the crowd runs the other way. Most people will never have this courage. They will bow. They will submit. They will live small. But you, if you choose, can rise above. Remember, silence is freedom, discipline is freedom, respect is freedom, action is freedom. When you live this way, you no longer need to chase life. Life comes to you, respect comes to you, strength comes to you, not because you begged for it, but because you became it. The goal is not to live forever. The goal is to live fully, to live so true to yourself that time cannot erase you, that even when your body is gone, your strength, your freedom, your spirit remain. This is immortality. This is living free and strong. Bruce Lee lived only 32 years, yet his name echoes across generations. Why? Because he lived free, because he lived strong, because he respected himself, mastered himself, and became untouchable. His silence spoke, his actions spoke, his truth spoke. That is why he cannot be forgotten. You have the same choice. You can live as the crowd does, defending, explaining, chasing approval, chained by fear. Or you can live as Bruce Lee did, free, strong, silent, unshakable. The choice is yours, every day. every moment. So choose freedom, choose strength, choose yourself. And when you do, you will discover something few ever know. The world cannot break the man who has already freed himself. The world cannot chain the man who has mastered himself. The world cannot stop the man who lives free and lives strong. That man becomes untouchable. That man becomes unshakable. That man becomes immortal. To live free and strong is not only for yourself, it is for the world, because when one man becomes free, he shows others what is possible. When one man becomes strong, he lights a fire that others can follow. Most people live in shadows because they never see an example of light. They live in chains because they have never seen someone walk free. They accept weakness because they have never witnessed true strength. But when you live as an example, you become more than yourself. You become a force. You become a reminder to every soul that sees you. Freedom is possible. Strength is possible. This is why Bruce Lee's life still speaks today. He did not just fight. He did not just train. He lived in such a way that the whole world could see freedom and strength embodied in one man. He showed that you could rise above limits, rise above expectations, rise above chains. That is why people still remember him decades after his passing. His silence still roars, his presence still commands, his life still inspires. If you want to live free and strong, begin here. Stop waiting for others to change. Stop waiting for the world to make it easy. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission. Freedom is not granted, it is claimed. Strength is not handed to you, it is built. The only permission you need is your own. Living free means you stop justifying your path. You no longer explain why you do what you do. You no longer seek to be understood. You walk your road with confidence, even if no one walks beside you. And living strong means you do not break when the road becomes difficult. You bend, you adapt, but you continue forward always. Ask yourself now, what would your life look like if you no longer needed approval? What would your days feel like if you respected yourself enough to stop chasing, stop defending, stop explaining? How powerful would you become if every ounce of energy wasted on arguments and doubts was redirected into action and growth? This is not a dream. This is a choice, and you can make that choice today. Live free, and you will no longer bow to fear. Live strong, and you will no longer collapse under pressure. Live free, and your spirit will soar. Live strong, and your actions will echo. Together, freedom and strength will make you unstoppable. But do not mistake freedom for isolation. A free man can still love. A free man can still give. A free man can still walk with others. But he does so by choice, not by need. He does so from abundance, not from emptiness. And because he is strong, his love is stronger. His giving is greater. His presence is deeper. Freedom makes you untouchable by the world. Strength makes you unshakable by life. Together, they make you unforgettable. The time is short. Life is passing. Every day you remain chained is a day wasted. Every day you remain weak is a day lost. Do not let your life slip away in silence, in fear, in slavery to opinions. Rise now. Break the chains. Claim your strength. Live free, live strong. Remember, the graveyards are full of men who never lived. They existed, but they were never free. They breathed, but they were never strong. Do not join them. Refuse to be one of the forgotten. Refuse to live small. Refuse to die unseen. Live free, and your spirit will never be buried. Live strong, and your name will never fade. Live so true to yourself that time itself bows to you. Live so strong that death cannot erase you. This is the final secret. This is the ultimate path. So today, choose. No more defense, no more explanation, no more waiting. Respect yourself, master yourself, free yourself, strengthen yourself, live free, live strong, and in doing so, live forever. Do not live in chains. Do not live in weakness. Do not waste your life defending and explaining. Respect yourself, master yourself, and the world will respect you. Live free, live strong, and your spirit will never die. This is Bruce Lee's secret. Now it is yours.